Welcome to Oddball History, dipshits.
We'll try to put that in the video of what we were looking at. It was Billy Corgan sad on a ride.
If you've never seen it, treat yourself. It's very funny. If you're into Billy Corgan looking sad, and who among us isn't?
Who is not? So we are back today. Lawrence is back.
Lawrence is back from sea.
My mighty return.
He did catch the marlin, but it was eaten by sharks on his way from Cuba back to Florida.
He survived the initial molasses
flood
from the first week.
Like a perfect metaphor for like the futility of the human condition.
Don't make me feel like Billy Corgan.
That's what Lawrence was saying before the pod, is that it was about futility of the human condition. But he's back from sea. No richer because of the goddamn sharks.
That's true.
It's a shame.
The goddamn
Off the coast of Cuba.
It's been an interesting couple weeks, fellas.
He gets the joy to learn about Wojtek the Bear.
Oh, yeah. A true hero.
A true hero.
Oh, we're jumping right in, huh?
We're jumping right in.
An immediate favorite. Yeah, we've been doing it this way lately.
Oh, really? I just thought we were going to talk about, I thought for the last 2 episodes, I didn't listen.
We know.
But I assumed they were all about me. You guys still talking about the push-off contest?
No.
Oh, you let it go?
We didn't. We mentioned you a few times. We said you were dead a couple times, but then we came back and we were like, no, we were just joking. He's okay, but he couldn't be here. And then we were talking about beefcakes, and we thought it was a shame that you couldn't be here.
You couldn't be here to talk about it.
That is a shame.
Beefcakes, because there was a thing called beef court.
Oh.
So it sounds like a lot of beefcakes would be involved, but that's not what it was. It was about beef that was killing American soldiers in Cuba and Puerto Rico, and then they would be shot around by streams of diarrhea long after their death.
The real enemy was from the inside, which
was their asses.
Now
the streams of diarrhea.
Now, anytime
Scott's starting off dirty. He's double caffeine in it. Scott's gonna be wild today. He's sipping an iced coffee. He's got an energy drink. He's ready to go.
The energy drink is mostly gone. You know?
Was there a haircut recently?
I was offered no. I think my hair is just clean.
Okay,
maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been swimming a lot. It could be all the chlorine in my hair. I don't know. Thank you, though. I take that as a compliment.
I really want to say this.
What's that?
It's going to be a letdown now, but you guys just wouldn't let me merge.
Is it about the
merge? Normally, these thoughts you can let pass.
Is it about
much like a highway?
And I realize now that it's not going to.
We're using the merge metaphor like a highway. You can just let somebody pass if they're going faster.
Is it about the Marlins?
It's about the beefcakes. You know, you guys do the beefcakes.
Lawrence always circling back to the beefcakes.
After the last pod, now anytime I see a beefcake, but it turns out he's not a good person, I'm like, look at this U.S. Army beef scandal right here.
That is for sure.
I could have let that one pass. I've had that thought and been like, nah, I'm going to keep this one to myself.
I couldn't drive home with that. Especially
when you run off the road. That's what.
No, I like it. I like to think of General Nelson Miles being at like a beefcake competition. Be like, these guys are all sizzle and no steak. I'm taking this to the Supreme Court.
These guys are all sizzle and no steak.
I'm going to go die at the circus. Have a heart attack over how many clowns were coming out of the car. There was a lot of stuff that happened last
week. The entire podcast is just going to be callbacks to the immediately preceding podcast.
Which Lawrence was not here for. Yes.
Next pod is just going to be callbacks to this one. It's what we're going to do now.
Next pod is us finally getting around to the Wojtek the Bear.
But new name, Circle Jerk. That's the new name of the podcast.
Real hero, Wojtek, I think is our point.
So the topic of Oddball History today is going to be Wojtek the Bear. And so he was a bear that ended up achieving rank in the Polish military. And this was during World War II. And so the 22nd Artillery Supply Company of the Polish Army.
That was the second one.
What was the first one?
World War I.
Oh. I thought you were correcting. Oh my god! I thought you were correcting the army company, and you were just making an awful joke.
Brought it to a halt. A record time, man.
Wait, we all missed my beefcake now,
World War II.
So it was World War II, the Second World War.
Yeah,
but so this group had already, where they were POWs in they were POWs, prisoners of war. and they got released.
Refugee. Oh yeah.
And they were meeting back up with a British unit because they were part of the Allied forces.
Okay.
And somewhere was it Iran or Iraq? I forget which country
it was in Iran, which was Persia then, I think.
Yeah.
It was still Persia. But
Boy.
it was at
Before
a
we got in
train
there and
stop.
mucked it up.
It was at a train stop that all these, it's like the whole crew from Poland is traveling together as like refugees having been chased from their homeland, the whole army and all the civilians. And the army, the daughter of a general at a train stop takes a shine to this, what turns out to be a bear. She sees a bear cub. Some little kids are playing with a bear cub.
Yeah, there's like a Kurdish boy in a sack. He has this thing rustling around, and it's a Syrian brown bear cub. Apparently, like a hunter had killed the mom, and so there's just this Kurdish boy at a train
Any
stop
old
carrying around a
story
bear.
is just full of devastating details. Like
Of course, yeah.
I think that's how a circus starts, right? You're
That
just like,
is.
we have a bear.
It's like,
that was the plan originally, but instead, this guy wanted to impress this general by way of his daughter. So he bought the brown bear for, I forget what he
I
exchanged.
think he
for it. Do
exchanged
you
like
remember?
some foodstuffs.
Yeah.
That they like some of their rations he gave to the boy, and he gave
like
the bear
chocolate
cub.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you guys
Yeah.
seen Leonardo DiCaprio's movie?
You
The
want to take
Bear?
another shot at his first name?
Yeah. Have y'all seen that movie, The Bear?
That's called The Revenant.
Oh, The Revenant. Oh, it's called The Revenant.
The bear
Different
is
bear.
the
y'all seen that
fantastic
movie, though?
FX
It is good.
series that takes a deep
can't-
dive into the world of
Yelling at Puerto
beef
Rican ladies.
sandwich shops / fine dining.
Yep.
Have y'all watched that show?
Hell yeah.
It's really good.
loved
You
it.
know,
We talked about this.
You hate
Jimmy
it?
did
Why do
not
you
like
hate
it.
it?
Andy hasn't even seen season 2. This Joker.
It's just him yelling at people. Fucking make
There's
the
so
sandwich.
much
Quit
more
yelling
to
at
it.
Quit
Have you
yelling
ever
at these
worked in a
ladies.
restaurant?
I don't need to.
And have you ever? Did you see all the emotional abuse he took from Joel McHale?
We'll watch it. I will watch it.
My wife
See?
wants to watch it.
okay. Well, you should watch it.
Okay,
Maybe
Season
I'm gonna
2.
sit through
Get
that
into
trash.
it.
Have y'all
Oh,
seen
man.
the Bear movie, the Leonardo DiCaprio?
All right, we're gonna work through this. Lawrence, look me in the eyes. He was a Ninja Turtle. Leonardo.
Have you seen?
Look at me in the eyes, Lawrence.
Are you guys familiar?
Lawrence, no.
Are you familiar?
You're not speaking anymore until you look me in the eyes.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo.
Have y'all seen the movie?
You know what? We all know what he means. Let's just fucking.
Have y'all seen his movie about the bear?
Leonardo.
I have not.
You haven't?
The Revenant, where the bear
Yeah.
attacks him.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
We missed you, Lawrence.
It's just a movie about just 2 hours of a man just really not having a good time.
Oh, off-topic Lawrence, back in full swing,
I
ladies
was
and
told
gentlemen.
to not research the topic.
My
so-
favorite bear attack movie is Grizzly Man. You know,
Grizzly Man? Oh,
yeah, the Werner Herzog
That's
movie.
where the dude
It's
just flirts with the bear
the
for a long
best.
time.
No, you like
No.
treated
He
him like
lives
family and
among
pets.
them and doesn't. Yeah,
That dude
Until
wanted to
least-
fuck that bear, and I think he finally tried. And then
He worked up the courage after
he worked up the
decades.
courage.
he got
He got
killed
eaten.
real bad.
Which who you know didn't eat anybody? Wojtek the Bear.
Wojtek the Bear did not.
Oh, yeah, what were we
he
talking
was
about?
just a lovable rascal.
He ended up
so
growing
he-
up like in this camp with all these soldiers.
Yeah, so the girl raises him at first, and he's fed milk from an old vodka bottle.
Very Polish.
Eastern European.
Very Polish.
I love
That's kind of
it.
how I live.
And
Just condensed milk out of an old vodka bottle.
and so he grows. Soon he's like 200 pounds. He's getting bigger, and he's taken in by the military guys. They take
And
over.
he is just like a dude, essentially. Like he's
Yeah.
great at copying their behavior. So he stands on his hind legs. He wrestles with them.
They teach him to salute. They
He
teach
can't-
him
a
when
little
you
bear
greet
salute.
him, he'll salute you. Which, I mean, how could you have a bad day after
You
Wojtek
can't.
salutes you?
But then he
Did
also
they take his claws out?
no, he was just a bear. If you like, it's like that
That's-
first guy, the Grizzly Man dude.
Yeah.
It worked out for him for years.
Yeah.
Of them thinking he was
I
part
just
of
can't
the
imagine
group.
being in World War II, like surviving a bunch of shit, finally getting back to camp,
And
then,
the
like,
bear at camp gets you.
the bear at camp just like can get you.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have had a bear at camp.
Yeah, it's like I would like to relax at some point. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I'm sleeping next to a goddamn bear when I
Which
get back
so
to
that was
camp.
the deal is he liked hanging out by the campfire, and so there'd be sitting around a campfire shooting shit, smoking cigarettes. The bear liked cigarettes,
Smoking and
cigarette?
eating them. He loved to eat cigarettes.
He would if you tried to give him an unlit cigarette, he'd like turn his nose at it. So you had to light it for him and give it to him, and he'd take one big puff and then just eat the rest.
Oh, what a mensch. What's that
I
mean?
love
don't know.
Wojtek.
Yeah, and then he'd drink beer too. That was one of his favorite treats.
He would drink. They would give him wine and beer, and he loved it, especially beer. And he would drink the beer, and then he would look sadly at the empty bottle until someone gave him a new one.
Like, don't make me Billy Corgan on a roller coaster over here. Someone refill
so
my goddamn
hilarious.
beer. Yeah.
What a
fantastic.
character!
Did he ever like? I mean, I'm did he ever kill anybody like for the right side?
No.
So
Here's the deal.
There was a few funny, like cute things that he did. Like one is
Was there a tricycle ever involved?
he never rode a
Well,
tricycle.
the first time he became a hero was a funny story. It was the shower incident. See, he was from a more temperate area in the desert, and he's from a mountainous region. He's very hot. So Wojtek would always like to try to get into the
Sneak into the showers.
and cool down in the shower, which of course he learned how to do from watching all his pals shower. And so they had to lock the showers up, or Wojtek would go in there. But one morning,
they'd catch him all the time. He'd go in there and turn all the showers on and just lay in it like a little personal sauna for a bear.
That's amazing.
They had like multiple times they had to water ration at the camp because Wojtek was just chilling in the shower.
There has to
He
be
needs
somebody
his
being like,
baths.
guys, this bear is not helping us win the war. You know, you're like,
So so one morning he comes in and it's unlocked,
But he
and
still
he's
goes
going
and
to
checks.
shower.
He's just like, make sure it's unlocked. He's like, all right, it's still locked up.
Yeah.
One day it's not locked.
So one
and he
day
goes
it's
in there.
not locked, and there's a spy in there, an Arab spy who
Hiding in the
is
showers.
waiting to get into their weapons cache. So they kind of surprise each other, and they end up arresting the spy. So now Wojtek is a hero.
sounds like a weird way for a spy to get in. That's like Porky's. You ever seen the movie Porky's?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, no. I'm here to get to your weapons. I'm here to get to your weapons.
That's how homophobic the Middle East was in World War II. Is he was just like he was trying to gander at some hogs, but instead he was like, I'm a spy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You caught me being a spy.
I'm like, all right.
Actually, they show that they show Porky's at spy school. The lesson, of course, being is like when you're spying, never stick your dick through a hole.
That's true.
Never do it.
That's
It's
true.
always bad when you're spying. That's what they say. Do it in your personal life
Yeah,
as
not
much
when
as
you're
you
lying.
want.
But not during war.
On your
Not
own
during
time,
war.
stick your dick in as many holes as you can find, whatever kind of holes. But here,
My wife giggled at
When
that
you
one
were-
in the other
but
room.
when you were spying,
It's time
there's
to
no
be
room
serious.
for your cock going through.
Or
any-
you're obviously going to get caught by a bear in the shower.
The thing
You
is,
know what I mean? Like,
yes.
you learned that at spy school.
You're giving up control when you put your cock through that shower hole.
The spy game's all about control. There was another weird incident
That's what
that
they
was like
teach down at Langley.
it was like a heartwarming little thing where the bear was out cruising around in the town and like stole some clothes off a clothesline, and part of it was like a pair of panties from a lady.
Born to be Wild was definitely planned.
Like this bear was essentially a character from Animal House, just like stealing panties,
was.
hammering beers. Which I had a thought that they're using this bear to cover up their own bad activities.
Yeah.
Where it's like some guy got drunk, passed out in the showers, and stole some panties from a lady, and went like, it was the bear.
Yeah. That is
Obviously, the bear did it.
Yeah.
So I'm on to them.
Another reason why it's great to have Wojtek on your team. Why
Very
he
true.
ended up such a beloved hero
But
to us all.
When he first he was always, they had like, a lot of people had mascots. Like he made friends with a Dalmatian in camp, and these units had animals they'd collect and stuff, and they were a big morale boost having an animal or a pet around. But they met up with the British 8th Army, and they were going over to like the front in Italy to go back to war. And the British were like, no mascots or pets on
our
Navy
transport
vessels.
ships.
Yeah, we're not doing that. And so they went, oh shit, okay. And so they made Wojtek officially a private in the military.
Enlisted him.
They enlisted the bear.
him immediately. They were like, all right, we'll give him a full name too. And his last name was Persky, and a nod to him being from Persia. And so his official name was Private Wojtek Persky.
Is private the lowest
Yeah, that's like your
rank?
entry rank.
Okay.
Everybody has to start somewhere, even
Yeah.
Wojtek.
Yeah, I just wish they would have
Right.
given him a
Even-
higher rank, because then someone's going to feel like a real piece of shit.
You got to earn your rank in the military, which ties in nicely. Well, now he's in the military, and they go to the front in Italy, and at the Battle of Monte Cassino.
Okay, this it bears
Sounds like a nice Italian
stating. Monte Cassino, it's like one of my least favorite World War II in colors, because it is like America fucks up so bad.
Really?
It was not a good. It's not one of those where we're like, "Woo, fucking America." It's like, "Oh, this is bad." What
Did
happened
we
was
perform bad or do bad things?
we a little of both. It was just really
America.
dumb. What happened
America.
was there's a Benedictine abbey on a mountaintop, all right, and there's no military importance
What
to
do
it
all
at
those
all.
words mean? What is,
Like,
Like where
we're-
monks
yeah.
live.
well, I feel like we're naming dishes at Denny's. Like, is that Monte Cristo, or do you want a Benedict? What is it?
That's how Lawrence sees the world, as a Denny's menu.
Yeah, I just,
Well, this is the part of the Denny's menu where monks live.
I mean, context. I understand that a Monte
if
Cristo.
Italy is moons over my hammy,
The Benedict Abbey.
The Benedict Abbey. Okay.
then Monte Cassino, I would say, would be the moons.
Okay. I mean, a Benedict
We're stretching-
is a food,
we're stretching
right?
here.
A Benedict is a food, right?
No, I think I'll check with the historians, but I think they would agree with me here that
Yeah.
Monte Cassino would be the moons and the moons over my hammy.
You ever heard of like the monks that brew beer in Belgium and stuff?
Of course.
So this is the similar
they
thing.
live in
It's
a
like
mountaintop and in a cloistered setting
Yeah.
and
Oh, okay.
are holy
priest,
men.
pastors, like male nuns.
But so they get in their heads, somebody on old America's side, that the Germans are like hiding out in there and using it as like a watchtower, basically. And this is immediately like, there's this general named Mark Clark, and he does not come off well in World War II in color. He makes a lot of decisions that people are just like, yeah, this was fucking dumb. This guy sucks. But even he was like, we can't bomb this abbey. It's 1400 years old. Like, there's no significance to it. I don't want to be known as the guy who
That did
bombed
it.
the fucking abbey.
Yeah.
And so we ended up bombing the abbey, which is darkly hilarious, because where there were no Germans before, now the Germans move into the rubble and they're hiding out in it, shooting at the Allies. So it becomes a long, drawn-out war of attrition, and not until it's the fourth Allied assault on Monte Cassino that Wojtek and his boys come in. Wojtek comes in. He's like, "Oh, leave it to old Wojtek to clean up you motherfuckers' messes
Yep.
again."
how it
Here he
was.
comes back and clean up.
But so Wojtek was great at like copying behaviors. It's all he like, the smoking cigarettes, the beers, hang out at camp, wrestling dudes. He was just essentially a soldier, but a bear. And so they were an artillery company, so they stay in the distance and like, shoot the shit in. And so he saw his guys carrying these like 100-pound, like, the
I
little
read there
ammo
were
caches.
300,
So,
which
yeah.
made more sense to me because it said it took 4 men to carry them.
Which
But
Wojtek started carrying these artillery crates, helping like supply the frontline guys. And so you got this bear
shit.
doing the work of like 8 dudes.
Yeah.
And he didn't give a shit about bullets flying overhead.
Yeah.
He was just in it.
He would get tired from time to time and go curl up and take a nap, and one of his guys would run over and feed him like a snack, and he would wake up and get like and start carrying
Like
crates
Popeye.
again.
Yeah.
They did
Everything's
say
a give and take.
they did
you know?
say he would get tired and would grab empty crates.
I love that.
Every now and then he was like, "Man, I'm fucking working my balls off over here.
Yeah.
Here's an empty crate. I'm sorry."
Anyone who's ever been at football practice knows, like, to look
Yeah.
at the man across you and be like, "Can we just
go half-ass on this one?
Take it easy on this one."
Yeah. I had one of those with a guy that I competed at quarterback against, and we had to run track together. And I wasn't fast, but they made us do the sprint team to get faster, which was a nightmare. But we'd always have to
that-
run like on Tuesdays or something. We'd run like 14 200s, which is hard. And we always would run
doesn't
with
sound
each other,
pleasant.
and we'd kind of look at each other and just be like, "Hey, 3/4 jog until we get to the final stretch, and then we'll race."
Yeah.
And it made it much easier. We
you
didn't
want-
get much
and-
faster,
and
but
the
And you,
spirit
and you
of-
wonder why you didn't make it to the
Yeah.
NFL.
And you'd
you know?
say,
that's what it was.
Yeah,
I
that's
would have
what
made
was.
it.
You know?
and you'd say, "In the spirit of Wojtek," and high five.
But so he ends up becoming like the emblem of this unit.
Oh yeah, so
I love the idea though. Someone be like, you're really not carrying your weight. You mean like a war hero bear in World War II? Am I carrying my weight? Okay.
They finally, they win that battle finally,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Wojtek gets promoted.
He becomes a corporal.
He becomes a corporal.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Corporal Wojtek. He's a war hero now. He just goes off with the coke and whores.
Yeah.
No, not really.
He
handled it well.
He didn't handle the power well at all.
He's a class individual, Wojtek.
Yep.
Of course he handled it well. So he's corporal, and they made him the logo. They made
Which
him the
I'll put it right
emblem.
here because it's pretty cool.
It is badass.
It kind of looks like the what's the band with the bears? The hippie jam band, Grateful Dead, with they have their bear logo, but he's holding a big artillery shell. It's pretty sweet.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah,
That'll make a good shirt.
yeah, it would. They sell a lot of merch.
A bunch of merch on Amazon. I'm considering buying one of them, the tank top. If you want to throw it my way, whoever makes that, possibly the government of Poland, send it on over.
Yeah.
I'll wear it on camera.
Yeah.
It'll get
And if
seen
Wojtek
by
wants to come on the show, we have an extra
8
spot
people.
for him to plug in.
Yes,
Wojtek is,
wait
we
for
have
the-
some
You're
sad
welcome to
news
come on the
story.
show.
We have some
Wojtek,
sad
anytime.
news.
Big fan. Come on the show.
Oh no!
Yeah, Lawrence, we have
dear
some,
God.
we have some
Lawrence,
sad news about this
Please
bear.
let us stop you. Please let us stop you in your enthusiasm.
He's not coming on the show next week?
Everyone.
So at the end
All
of the
right,
war,
so, we have some things to
Well, no,
get to
keep telling the
before-
story. I mean, I don't
Before
wanna-
we break Lawrence's heart, we have some things to cover. So they, after he's made the logo, he handles it well. I was just joking about the coke and whores. He wouldn't do that. He's class, you know.
I didn't
He
believe
just,
you.
He's
I
just
didn't
a
believe you.
simple man.
I can tell
He
already.
just likes a cold
Simple
one
bear.
and to eat a pack or two of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Of lit cigarettes. That's what he was into. And so he ends up in this, where was it? The Winfield Camp for Displaced Persons on Sunwick Farm in Scotland.
yeah. So that's actually the whole unit ended up there.
Yeah.
And they ended up in Scotland in 1945, like at the end of the war, because Poland, we had to kind of figure that part out for them. You know, they couldn't quite go home immediately because of all the destruction and such.
Yeah.
But they end up going home, and
he lives at that camp, that refugee camp. He lives with the guy who took care of him this whole time. His name was Sergeant Peter Prindis. And they nicknamed him Mother Bear, which I thought was funny. You know, he was like, "Can I be like a bear man?
no, can I be the big bad bear dad?
How about the bear whisperer?" And they were like, "You're no."
I think Big Bad Bear Dad would be a good
We
T-shirt.
don't think so, Sergeant Peter Prindis. We thought
Mama
of
Bear.
Mother Bear.
His job was to take care of the bear?
We thought, yes,
What's
he
his
was
job? He just
he was
wanted
the
to.
head caretaker of old Wojtek. And so they live together in the thing. And then in the saddest part of the story, when they leave the camp,
I want to break this to Lawrence.
they go,
The bear is given to
Can he come on the show and just tell the story himself?
Let me finish this. I
Okay.
got 2 sentences for you.
Okay.
They
God damn
end up
it.
giving him to the Edinburgh Zoo. They try to put him in with the other bears, but he's such a person, been so ingrained in being
And
a person.
and Sergeant Peter Prindis, Mother Bear, escorts him to the Edinburgh Zoo and has to drop him off, which
adorable.
is like so sad to
Yeah.
me.
But he ends
Say
up
bye
not,
to a best friend,
He
you
ends
know?
up not
Yeah.
being able to get along with bears, so they put him in his own little enclosure, and then he dies in 1963 at the age of 22,
which is
alone.
around the average lifespan. Well, he had lots of admirers,
Yes.
always coming and throwing him cigarettes and honey.
Yeah.
They better
People
fucking be lit.
people would call out to him in Polish, and he loved people speaking Polish to him, and he would recognize any of his old war buddies.
Really?
They were
If
like
they
allowed to
came
hop
up,
over the fence and go see
he
him.
would recognize them, which is fucking adorable.
It's adorable.
So goddamn adorable. And he would, so it was like sad, but it was, he seemed to have some good times there in the zoo too. Especially considering where he started out, you know, an orphaned Syrian brown bear at a train station.
Just in a
But you
bag
go
with
to
a Kurdish
war,
kid.
You go to
And
war,
now there's-
you achieve rank, you move up, and then they're like, I don't know, maybe die alone in a cage, you know? Like
Yeah.
the movie Rush
Don't we
Hour,
all?
War. What's it good for?
At the end of the day,
Don't we all, man?
Yeah. So that's the end of Wojtek.
I really thought he was
and
gonna come
now
on the show.
Wojtek is a Wojtek. Here's the thing: he is so beloved by. I'm thinking like, God, this guy. I love this guy, and then I find out the world loves Wojtek.
Yeah.
There's statues of him all over the
Multiple
place,
countries.
especially in Scotland where he lived, and then Poland, a country he never set foot in, but of course
He served
represented and
honorably.
served very honorably, lugging around those crates,
Yeah.
you know, being a
Caught a
character,
spy in the shower.
lifting everyone's spirits by drinking a shitload of beer and then staring sadly at the beer bottle when it's done.
We've had a lot of
Which that
drinking
really
animals
works.
on this,
Yeah, Clay Henry.
Clay Henry.
Oh, that guy! What a
Clay
man!
Henry,
Clay
yeah.
Henry and Wojtek, they would have got along.
Oh,
I'd
for
like
sure.
to see
Oh,
that
Clay
for
Henry
sure.
never got
That's
his chance to go to war.
This would be a
but he
weird
would've-
buddy cop movie.
That is a that's a dream. Unlikely Animal Friends.
Yeah.
Animal
Oh, man.
Planet would fucking come right through their genes. For that.
That was too aggressive.
Unlikely Animal Friends. That's how
You know-
they talk in the Unlikely Animal Friends business. I don't know if you knew that.
you think you guys-
They're always like, you're gonna fucking jizz when you see this fucking baby goat who's friends with a kid.
Do you think we could get Clay
That's how
Henry?
it is.
You guys think we could get Clay Henry on the show?
Oh,
Lawrence,
no.
quit asking to have dead animals on the show.
Do you think?
Maybe I
Join
have
us-
too much hope. Maybe just call me too hopeful.
Join us next week when our guest is Marley from Marley. Oh wait, shit.
So I wrote down a few. Actually, there's some honorable mentions of animals that served, and there were some funny ones throughout
God bless
history.
'em.
Not necessarily funny. With anything you get too far back in history, there's a dark side to all of it. So you know
Yeah.
how elephants used to be used in war,
Yeah.
like in
Shout out Hannibal.
Hannibal.
What's up, Hannibal?
Yeah, what's up, Second Punic War?
Crossing the Alps, dude.
where
That
my
was
dog's at?
wild.
But he used elephants, and what it turned out is elephants are very scared of pigs squealing. So,
Oh, what a
so
weird
they-
little bugaboo. Yeah.
Yeah, so they utilized what they called incendiary pigs. Is they would
Holy shit.
they would set them on fire and let them loose around elephants, so they would be guaranteed to squeal, and then the elephant would freak out and kill a ton of people on its own side. So that's a little fun fact. Incendiary pig.
The pigs are like, if you just give me a little poke in the ribs, I'll squeal real good.
You don't have to light me on fire.
There's a battlefield. I'm already scared.
And hurl me at an elephant.
I will squeal.
I think the sound of guns would probably do it pretty well. You know,
This was a sword time.
we can't take any chances. You know,
The Punic Wars were sword time.
Oh,
So that was
man.
like a couple 2,000 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
But
Do you
and then-
think they went like the victors, like when they were walking through
This
the
reminds me a lot of
battlefield
Denny's,
afterwards?
you know,
That
pigs on
was
fire.
fucking good eating though. Those pigs they set on fire. I bet like the last survivors of that battle they were walking through. They're
wow,
like, ooh, what is that
smells good.
aroma? My
something
God.
smells nice.
Sounds
Yeah.
like crispy skin and juicy meat under there. Possibly.
I don't like how you
white
worded
meat.
that.
I love the way I worded it.
this Warfield smells a lot like a Denny's.
So there's another dark one. Is this was used in World War I and II a lot as anti-tank dogs.
Oh, no.
dear dogs. Leave the dogs out of war.
Well,
This
so
fall from Disney.
they spent a lot of time training them at first because even during war times, people were like, we don't want to kill dogs. To go like sneak in and drop off like timed things and remote detonated stuff. And that didn't work out as well as they wanted, so they just ended up dropping off with like pressure plates, and so they'd run up to tanks and then blow them up. So anti-tank dogs, you don't name those.
Well, at least
the
they
dogs
got.
are definitely anti-tank after a while. I tell you that. You know what I mean?
At least they got their 72 dog virgins in heaven. You know, that's what I like to think.
all the dogs
of those
were-
brave
were
suicide
They were
bombers.
Muslim dogs.
Those
Where were
brave-
those dogs at Tiananmen Square? You know what I mean?
But then there's a big history of like cats on Navy ships. They keep on to like handle rodents and stuff. A lot of them had names, but it was similar stories the entire time.
Those
There's-
aren't heroes, though. Those are just cats.
They're just cats. They were doing
cat stuff. Yeah.
It's all about doing your part, you know.
And then
Yeah.
there was another famous one, Turpitz the pig.
Well, you don't have to tell me about turpits.
yeah.
So he
That
was.
story.
I think he
I
was.
think we're gonna have him on the show next week.
Well, wait for the end of the story. And so he was another one. I think it was World War II, the German side, where he was on a ship that was sunk, and everyone abandoned it, and he was the last one to abandon the ship and was picked up by another vessel, just like a pig swimming in the ocean. But because he was, they gave him an Iron Cross, sarcastically, for showing bravery when everyone else abandoned the ship. He refused to.
Yeah. That makes him the captain of the ship, right?
He's the captain of the ship, but then about 6 months later, they sold him for meat.
Well, we all fall on hard times.
So,
Someone bring our war hero out here.
Yeah. All things considered, Wojtek probably had the best outcome.
Yeah, Wojtek, he was beloved by everyone.
By everyone.
Rightly so. Because he could carry a shitload of shells.
He could. And so that thus concludes our discussion of Wojtek the Bear, the Polish war
greatest hero
God
any
bless.
of us have ever known.
Yeah.
God bless you, Wojtek, wherever
God bless
you are.
you, Wojtek.
And also with you.
And we're going to plug in a mic next week, and we're going to set it right there.
Just in
We're going to put a
memory.
little plate card that says Wojtek.
Wow.
Because you're gone, but not forgotten.
That would be a classy move, I think.
Yeah.
Jimmy's
We
got
can
to buy
leave.
the mic. I'm not going to buy the mic.
Yeah. All right. So I got some stuff to do for next week.
Yeah.
But anything? Have you watched the Johnny Manziel documentary?
I just did yesterday.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, wow.
I watched Quarterback, but I haven't
Very
watched
fun.
Quarterback was great.
Yeah, well, it makes you like Kirk Cousins, which is
We talked
that's
about
what we were
this.
talking about.
Oh, okay.
Where
well,
we were just like, he's
Literally the same words. I was
Yeah.
like, it's kind of making me like Kirk Cousins.
He's Ned Flanders.
yeah, he is
Yeah,
Ned Flanders.
it's fantastic.
100%. Yeah.
But you got to watch the Johnny Manziel one because it's exactly what you want him to be. He's a big douchebag through and through, but he's one of us,
Yeah.
He's just like a regular guy that happens to be super talented, that throws it all away, but in kind of a cool way.
Yeah.
He just didn't care.
Well, they say he threw it all away, but from everything I've seen, it seems like he never really had it, and then they faked it to make it look like he had it.
What do you mean?
Oh, no. He was a
like,
fucking beast in college.
But it was obvious that wasn't going to translate to the NFL. To everybody, it was obvious it wasn't going to
But that
translate
was
to a
to
lot
also,
of
he was
To
like,
us. To the majority.
Not to the Cleveland Browns.
But
not
if
to the
you-
Cleveland, of course. Like, who are you going to trick if you're going to trick anybody? It's the Cleveland
but you
Browns.
also think about it, that was at the time. Now there's the Patrick Mahomes, the Kyler Murrays. Like, this is becoming more of a quarterback model that works for a lot of people. I think that he was too young and immature for it.
Yeah.
Where in the documentary, they talk about it. We're like,
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury's like, he had all the tools, but he never cared like that.
and
Like, he
none of them
never-
did him any favors. Cliff
Yeah.
Kingsbury was a dirtbag. They were like, oh, this was before you could make money. So they're like, no, they're student athletes. We care about their education. And he got so famous his freshman year, they had to enroll him in all online classes that he clearly was not taking. Like,
Yeah.
they don't give a shit. He was just doing, and he showed up hungover to practice. And Cliff was like, you better play good.
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious.
And
You
then he
better
did.
fucking play good.
And then he did. So they're like, all right, you can show up to hungover to practice now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sounds like the kid was put in a system that was never meant for him. Like when everybody just wants you to succeed tomorrow and not like
Yeah, care about 5
a
years
year
from now.
later. Yeah.
But he was talking about like if the current NIL deals existed back then.
Oh, yeah.
he'd be making millions.
Yeah,
and he was
had
like,
to
I
hide
would
his
have
money back then, right?
He was like, I would have. Yeah, he had to do it illegally,
Yeah.
which he got in trouble
Yeah, I
for.
would have been kind of bitter about that.
Yeah, oh yeah, but he would have made millions of dollars. Probably stayed 4 years in college because he's making all the money he can. And then you are more mature, you're older, you're more developed as a quarterback. Maybe he makes it more in the NFL, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just sputters out in a more fantastic way than he did.
Yeah.
But it was a very good documentary.
Young success is like such a weird thing.
Well,
Whenever it requires a lot from you, like whenever like I think like movie stars, like I don't respect like Leonardo DiCaprio, but like it's like. But like I feel
Leonardo.
But I feel like yeah, sure. But like, that's what I said. That's what I said.
Lawrence got kicked by a mule in the part of his brain responsible for saying Leonardo DiCaprio. That's the only explanation.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
You keep saying it wrong differently.
My favorite actor. But I don't know. I just feel like whenever you're young and all that fame gets put on you, but you have to like put a lot of effort into it, it seems like it's just such a recipe.
I think it's just being immature. Like
of course.
you're not supposed to have it like that, which is why it's only athletes, music people, and like movie stars that have
Yeah.
the ability to make that kind of money young.
I did 5 shows, whatever, the other weekend with a guy that's on Saturday Night Live currently.
Yeah.
It's like a writer and an actor, Marcelo Hernandez. The kid's like 25.
Yeah.
And it's just so weird to just sit there. Like, 'cause I don't watch Saturday Night Live, so I'm like, he's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
But it took till like the very last night for him to say something where I was like, okay, yeah, you're 25.
Yeah.
You're 25. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine living in that.
Oh yeah, just not being fully formed as a person.
But having this massive responsibility.
Yeah, it can't be good for you. It's like social media stuff.
How is Johnny Manziel about it? And I understand, too, I think of what he went through. It's got to be nice to finally sit down and be like, so here's the truth. Like, here's everything I was hiding
Well,
for
the
so
stuff
long.
he didn't hide anything was the thing.
Yeah.
He hated the NCAA because they wouldn't let him make money, and he was like bitter that he's like, clearly everyone is making a shit ton of money
Yeah.
off of me. Like hundreds of millions of dollars are being made because I'm good at football.
The entire stadium is full of number 2 jerseys.
Yeah.
Like they are. Oh man, yeah, I would be fucking wildly bitter.
Yeah, but he did the. I thought that was funny. He like made up that his family was rich. Like obviously
his
he didn't.
friend was like
He didn't
put
grow
that
up
out
dirt
there.
poor by any means.
But it
he
was
had
like
to-
very
yeah.
middle class. Like it was more middle class.
It was in
than-
Kerrville. Like now it's wine country and Fredericksburg's all crazy. But back in the day, it was like working class place. And he's flying around in private jets, going to clubs in Miami and shit. And there was like, how's NCAA starts poking around and he just comes up with, oh, my family, old oil money. I'm just rich as shit. This is how I do stuff.
Yeah,
And it worked for a cover for a while.
yeah, genius.
Fantastic,
Good,
yeah.
good play by his childhood friend, who then he got estranged from. That kind of bummed me out.
Yeah.
That fact, I didn't see that coming.
I feel inspired by the fact that he never watched film. You know, as someone who loves minimal effort,
Yeah, but he also like
like he
didn't
won
make
a
it.
couple games though. You know, I mean? Like, but he won a couple games in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And never gave a fuck.
Yeah,
Well, and he he said that it wasn't until it was at his sophomore year at A&M that he said that like he had like always, and Kerrville has like a really Tivy, is that where he went?
Yeah.
Tivy, they have like a very like militaristic program that's very like everyone does the hard shit side by side no matter what. And he said that he was always like, he had bought into that, and that's kind of how he always was until a point. And then he was like,
The
and once
opposite.
I lost that, like it was, then he just became a pain in the ass. Like his dad at one point was just lost patience with him.
yep.
He was like, at some point, it's like, you know, go fuck yourself. I remember him saying that. Yeah. It's like,
He means it.
yeah.
Let's see.
How's he doing now?
He's I don't know.
He's-
still making money doing like
Probably
golf
got that
shit.
Netflix money, huh?
He's living with,
He's living like a frat guy in Arizona, doing
Yeah.
like some golf brand thing. So he's making money,
Yeah.
but he's like a regular guy, you know.
Yeah.
Like he's a regular rich person, not like a
yeah, though, seeing him and his
tens
friends
of millions
hang
of dollars
out,
rich person.
it looked like
They're
me
ripping
and my
bongs.
friends hanging out when we were like 21 or 22,
Yeah.
you know?
They're
That,
ripping bongs by a pool
scene, like
and-
all of us hanging around a poorly furnished house, like grilling and ripping bongs and shit.
Having a blast.
Just Manzelling it, you know?
My first Spanish show got canceled.
Pobrecito.
Pobrecito, sí, güey. But I ended up doing a Spanish. I headlined that Oak Cliff Club that Diego does, La Privada.
Okay.
It was fun. It was a fun room. But I ended up doing the joke in Spanish, and I want to say it to you guys.
Oh God.
Okay.
You know I'm not gonna understand it.
I
Right?
know. I want y'all to hear it.
All right, this feels racist, but
It is hola, yo soy güero. Mi español es así, pero mi nombre es Jimmy. Pero todos sus madres me llama la verga de justicia. Laugh, punchline. All right, we'll
I
cut it.
heard-
Words suck.
No, I see a C, so. I
clip
got
it.
most
No,
of
no,
it.
no,
I got
dick.
most of it.
No, I heard dick.
You heard
No.
dick. We'll clip
I heard
it.
No, super mi idea.
Better guy is the other word for dick.
Yeah.
I don't.
So we'll clip it.
Where
Should
did
be
that
out
come
there.
from? I don't know.
Chupas.
That's fun though.
Y'all have anything going on?
Speaking of super fun gigs, last night I did the Texas Assessing Officers Association of Assessing Officers Conference 2023 at the Gaylord Texan
Jesus
Resort. in
Christ.
Grapevine.
Did it pay
How was
well?
that?
They were. It was good. It was. There were not
Notice
many.
how believable that was.
There were not as many assessors in the room as I had imagined there
Yeah.
would be. I made a joke about how maybe there was a really bad accident at the Texas Association of Assessing Officers Conference 2022. And that's why the numbers were so low, but they assured me there was not. And so, but it was one of those that like there weren't that many people there, but the ones who were there were like they were very nice and cool and very into the show. So between that and then the conference, they had left candy like strewn out over every table, and a lot of those tables there were no assessors at them to eat that candy.
Got a bunch of raccoon comedians just shoveling shit in their pockets on the way out.
That's exactly what happened. Especially me. I was stuffing my pockets like Homer and Marge at that candy convention. That famous Simpsons episode we all know and love, where Homer grabs the thing off the lady's ass.
Did you miss it, Lawrence?
Yeah, I did miss it. You know, I stole food from. I just did the 6 shows in Tulsa, and I stole food from their little gift baskets to throw in my bag.
You gotta take the food.
Made the wall in Tulsa.
I was at the Grove last weekend, and the guy Bill owns his son runs a brewery / pizza joint next door, and you just get to hang out and drink and eat pizza afterward.
I felt bad.
Nice.
It's like I was at Tulsa. They'll never hear this, but like they're like. Before this first show on Saturday, they were like, hey, they bring out my picture. Like, hey, sign this. We're going to put you on the wall. And I was like, cool. But I already knew what I was doing that night because another comic I know was working the Bricktown across the room. So I was like, okay, cool. I sign it and I go and do my set. And I grab my bag and I'm out of the parking lot. I drove over to Bricktown. I'm like, hey, who's the booking manager here? And I got his information. Then went back over to Tulsa and ran back in between shows. Like, oh, hey, my picture's on the wall. That's cool. That's good.
Nice.
I've been here for 7 years. It's about,
Yeah.
And then I stole a bunch of food from the gift bag, and then it was so hot in my car when I went to eat it, it was all melted. I look like Billy Corgan on a roller coaster.
Billy Corgan on a roller coaster.
And
I'm gonna pop that picture up every time we reference it.
He looked so sad.
He looked very sad.
So funny.
But Tulsa was great. Billy D. Washington and I went to the Tulsa, speaking of history, we went to the Black Wall Street Museum. Whew.
Everybody makes a trip there when they go.
Yeah, that is...
Not good.
Really bad stuff out there. You know what I mean?
There's just a white guy at the entrance going, ugh.
It was super interesting though. Like I'm really glad we went. They had like this poem that they play whenever you went in. That was like really moving. So well written, so good. Had a great fucking time. Shout out to Tulsa.
There you go. I think we did it.
Yeah. Shout out Wojtek.
Shout out Wojtek and
up in heaven eating God's cigarettes.
Yeah.
The best time.
I imagine God loves feeding Wojtek cigarettes. It's his favorite thing.
Yeah.
He just giggles very wholesomely every time.
There's a natural disaster. It's because God is distracted feeding Wojtek cigarettes.
All childhood cancers got up there just flicking cigarettes at Wojtek.
That's a cute bear.
He's laughing like that. Oh, sacrilege.